number 6, Pivot Black, going out front. With Rolomite breaking almost instantly, and we have a lead jam. As Black Pivot gets back into the pack, gets hit once by Tiff, but is able to break, and we have a Black Pivot break. Rolomite coming up from the back, and we have one baby hanging on the back. Silver tries to hold a baby. Black's desperately trying to fight up front. That's 1 point, 2 point, 3.4, and that is the jam.
Man, some beautiful skating to start us off by Rolomite. Holy moly. Next up, it's the Rookie of the Year. Kremley Insane facing off against Sailor Jerry. Want to give some quick love to our officials for this game. If I can find them in the binder. Head ref Esoteric. Scoring ref Jax to win. Other scoring ref One Hit Thunder. Inside pack ref is Wolverine. Your outside pack refs are Repapino Business, Black Mamba Jamalama Ding Dong, Queen of Hearts. Your jam timer is Snow White. Scoreboard is Cleo Smackya Jones, and miscellaneous assistance by Stevie Thunder and Malicious Compliance. Back to the action. Kremley Insane working hard against this back wall. Meanwhile, Sid Vicious trying to break up front against Wrecking Bill, having a double of the time trying to do it. Well, Sailor Jerry going through that back, taking a big hit off Kremley Insane. A 2-for-1 special in the back from Wrecking Bill. Throwing a lot of bodies on the floor on this one. Jam clock is ticking down. Both of these scores putting forth a tremendous effort here. Sailor Jerry tries to go through Kremley Insane. Unsuccessful instead forced to the ground. Still looks to have picked up some points on the end. We'll see from our scoring ref how many it may have been. Quick official timeout. Maybe a quick conference regarding the scoreboard here. Always makes my derby heart go beat a little faster to see if someone get a 2-for-1 block.
Always feels really nice.
It's a thing of beauty. Meanwhile, a little love for my buddy Semantics here. My new friend with the nougaty voice.
Oh, why, thank you.
Delicious, straight out of a candy shop.
50 Cent once rapped about me, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Flash, what do you know about these jammers coming up? We have
Quite frankly, not much. They're both visitors here, and I can't see their numbers.
Celtic Chaos, number 23 and 62. T. Neither iced nor sweet.
Neither iced nor sweet, but they both look ready to dish out some bitter flavors here.
Oh, especially against the walls that I see them coming against. I mean, I've never been more afraid than I have been of Pippi Strong blocking in my entire life. And I watch a lot of horror movies.
Man, the last time I played the Regulators, I got so close to hitting her. And then the period clock ran out. We both looked at each other.
Sorry, y'all, a little computer meltdown.
Quick fix by the refs for a computer malfunction. I'm going to hand you over to my buddy Semantics for this jam.
And we have an early break. T have a definitive, significant half-lap lead around that pack. You got a 2-all up front with Tiff and Pippi Strong blocking, holding back that initial jammer, creating a devastating wake of chaos. As 62 enters the back of the pack, gets at least 1 point, makes that 2 or 3, and we have a penalty being issued to, as we still try to figure out who that penalty was issued to, Pippi Strong blocking. But hey, if it gets you 4 points, what's 30 seconds off the clock? We have finally a jammer break from Black as we start our second scoring pass from White. Getting one easy point in the back, make a nice challenge on the 3 wall, gets a couple points and sneaks through for another 4. Are we going again? This must be Woofda. Because here we are with a third scoring pass as Black enters the back of the pack. Black gets maybe 1 point here. They'll definitely get the ghost point from anything in the box, but White gets another, making it a 12-point jam. USAR's dominance. This is spectacular.
Holy moly.
And we're still able to hold that jammer back, and it's looking like a rough wall. But as we said, with Suicide, Snow Cone, Lowrider, and Tiff, that's a definitive force. And there we go, another scoring pass. Make that 16 for a clean 4 pass, 4 points, 16 points.
Man, those tiny jammers are always such a pain in the derriere.
Oh, that's actually more than that. My apologies. I forgot the lap points. So I think that might bring it up to 18. I cannot make it out from this distance. Maybe 20? Can you read that, sir?
It looks like a 20-point jam to me on that one. Heck of a job by T. Way to go. Rolomite and Criminally Insane back out here wearing the stars for their respective teams. Seeing Dottie Disaster out there on the inside, looking to do some regulating.
Quadzilla with the quick pop under the outside.
Beautiful. Beautiful block by Quadzilla there, but a bit brutal. Sent him flying.
It's really how crisp he has that line. He can really throw those hips, and he knows exactly where his toe stop's going to end up. So honestly, it's just it's a pointy hit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rolomite doing some jam skating.
Curtis contending with gravity there, but a little razzle dazzle gets him out of a jam. Meanwhile, the 3-wall up front for the Satellites with Tiff and Quadzilla holding everybody back here. Just indomitable. The pivot for the Werewolf pack. That's Phoenix Fire trying to get around Quadzilla. Gets a little help from Gortisha, but still, Carmelectrac up there as well, making things exceedingly difficult here. Rolomite back around for another pass. Looks like 10 points so far on the jam. Taking his time. Looking like a cat staring down the mice. Scoots to the inside. These blockers keeping Werewolf pack very busy. Taking the points, calling it off. The Satellites looking dominant to open this game.
And honestly, it's all through clean form. I'm not seeing big hits. I'm seeing a lot of positional blocking.
It's the hallmark of the Satellites for sure.
And honestly, you love to see it. You love to see good, fast, clean derby that's tactically sound. So Satellites out here really demonstrating the prowess of the game.
Yeah, they look like they haven't lost a step since Nationals, that's for sure.
Sailor Jerry able to get to that back wall and get through and penetrate right away. Amageddon having a hard time, but does get to that front wall. But the pivot breaks easily, or pretty quickly afterwards. Ace of Grace getting close. Ooh, an Apex jump. Does he make it? Negative. And it looks like there's a penalty being issued, but is that to the player jumping out of bounds, or it is to the jumper?
Oh,
probably
bummer.
Contact with the feet, if I had to guess. Either way, those are normally incidental. Didn't see anything particularly malicious in there.
Just a bad aiming. A bad aim.
Some bad some communication being attempted, but it looks as if Black Pivot's a little confused. Looks like we had a couple people being issued. Black sitting on the wrong side of the penalty box. Thankfully, Sailor Jerry corrects Black Pivot, and now we have the timers getting started. The Black Pivot looks like they were released as they weren't actually getting a penalty. As we mentioned, there were some miscommunications there. Not quite sure how it's happening, but it's happening. They don't ask how, they ask how many. Oh, White just barely out of play, but that'll happen to you. Here we are with pretty significant imbalancing of the numbers. Let's see if Black can capitalize.
We almost had a power jam there.
Almost.
Not
Another penalty.
Not a lot of USARs.
Yeah, it looks like we have another penalty issue, but I'm not seeing anyone leaving the track just yet. All right, and it looks like it wasn't as high scoring a jam, but doesn't mean it wasn't full of action.
Also, a quick shout out to Orange Whip there. I don't know if you noticed, but he took out Wrecking Bill at one point. That's an achievement.
Clash of Titans. Water.
Oh. Wrecking Bill heading to the box of shame. A little contention there about the penalty. But we are back off. Looks like T out there again for the Satellites. Made it look easy on the first jam. But again, those tiny jammers can be very hard to deal with.
Olay on the inside, letting it Kremlin Insane throw their best block, and then Gorticia Adams cleaning up right afterwards.
Oh,
a wonderful
man.
series of bang-bang plays.
Yeah, Gorticia and Dottie, man, just dishing out their greatest hits here. But a nice recovery on that hit for T. He's trying to work around the derby duo of Sid Vicious and Gorticia Adams.
As White runs that clock, White's going to have some pretty significant speed on them, meaning if they can get to the back, that's going to be a penalty on Dottie.
It's track meet out there. The pack exceedingly sped up, being forced to reform here.
As I like to call the little box cuddle, as no one wants to enter the pack to shift the pack to the back.
Yep.
All
Tiff
right.
holding court up front there. Gorticia Adams trying to bust things up a little here. Trying to free up Sid. Sid taking a gnarly hit there from Low Rider.
All right, and just at the end of the jam, T able to clean up all of the points. And I believe that'll be 5.
Looks to have been about 5 points there. Those foot races always hurt so much.
Both the soul and the body. Karma up front. Rolomite in the back. We have Tinker Hell making some progress in the back as she tries to use Orange Whip on the inside. Rolomite once again getting a pretty clean and uncontested break.
Yeah, that dude is a master of deflection.
That's what my psychologist says about me, sir.
I believe it.
23 having some issues in the front, gets knocked all the way to the back, meaning that neither of the scoring players on black are having any fun with that front wall as Rolomite gets a definitive pass. Once again, 5 points for Rolomite as he makes another half-lap lead, and black panties are having some issues. Quadzilla and Alakarma are just having their way with black's front wall. They're really showing that versatile derby skill set as they're clearly using that tripod that's very popular in WIFTA with absolute speed and efficiency, just used in a more dynamic sense than USARs. Black having their time of themselves. They just cannot get these blocks to stick as Rolomite enters this 3-wall. Let's see if Whip can get a good wall going. As there's an apex jump and it lands definitively and clearly. Getting a nice, that 10 or 15 point jam. 10 points. I do not have my glasses and I apologize.
Yeah, we normally have a monitor, but it's not working this morning.
Oh, computer issues.
Man, Rolomar looking like Michael Jordan on that one.
I believe he can fly.
Kept his tongue in his mouth, though. Sailor Jerry back out there for the Satellites. Satellites looking strong up front with Suicide Snow Cone, the indomitable Tip, and Pippi out there regulating against this Werewolf pack.
Sailor Jerry taking an
Sailor
inside
Jerry
line.
getting out very quick. Looked like a warm knife through butter. Number 24, PMS taking a gnarly hit there in turn 2, looking a little rough getting up. But number 21, Aim again, coming into the back of the pack. Sailor Jerry looking to call his shot here. Those satellites doing a great job of sowing chaos in the pack. Opening up plenty of holes for Sailor Jerry to sail through.
Valraven right on the outside, getting an absolute quality pleasure play
Holy moly.
as she's able to hold their jammer all the way to the back. As he's just waiting to get back in play so that he can call it off. Gosh, I love Valraven.
The satellites taking the score, calling it off. I don't see a scoring indicator on this one. Regardless, satellites in the lead.
It's like 4
71
points.
to 12 through the first 15 minutes of this contest.
Criminally Insane versus T. Speed will be the winner as that front line is big. Quadzilla, who looked to be Criminally Insane's bane in the last time they faced off. We'll see how this matchup goes as he has her targets on. T with an easy break. That front wall holding the pivot. Criminally Insane goes to the outside, and Karma is there. Black pivot goes to hit out Karma, giving Criminally Insane an opportunity. Now let's see if they can divide the attentions and one of them get a good break with a big hit from Quadzilla up front, slowing down that jammer. Criminally Insane enters again. T able to go outside as that foot goes out. Whip gets a great hit, slowing White down just a little bit, but will it be enough? A nice little assist to give that jammer an extra little boost as T goes for another scoring pass. Criminally Insane looking a little gassed in the back as that pivot tries to take the onus and tries to see if they can break. As Criminally Insane regains themselves, White Jammer comes up from the rear. White Jammer gets 1 point in the back. Let's see if they can get another 5. Dealing with the back wall, Orange Whip. Orange Whip having some good position on them. Tries to take the outside. Dottie is there. That pivot hits, but it goes out of bounds. They're already a point, and why not lay some great blocks? As we're all trying to recoup ourselves and get some energy, White gets another full pass as they go for another scoring pass, but calls. Way to conserve the energy. T with a definitive dominant jam.
It's interesting watching T jam, almost mathematical, the way they use the track to use every inch of that track, gaining momentum and speed. And the announcers put in the penalty box by Mamba for too much echoing, which the Fountain City AV Club is going to try to rectify here. Nope, that's Rolomite wearing the star for the Satellites. Sid Vicious wearing the star for the Werewolf pack. Having to deal with the indomitable Tiff in the back. The master of deflection here, Rolomite, breaking through, and it's number 43. Tinker Hell activating as scorer for the Werewolf pack, showing some great speed. Curtis turning around, looking to do some blocking, some jammer on jammer blocking here. Goes to the air, another Jordan move. Successful apex jump to bypass the pack entirely. And picking up the 5-point score in the process. Must be nice to have the repertoire that Rolomite is working with.
It's always pretty good as the jammer when you have a lot of people that are able to open holes, make your life a whole lot easier.
Yep, and that very skinny frame, using it to full effect on these deflections. Meanwhile, Pippi getting a lot of successful blocks up front here, occupying those Werewolf pack jammers. Rolomite's going to take the added score and call this one off.
It looks like this might be our last jam. There might be another one contingent on how the timing plays out, truthfully. But unless anyone calls a timeout, this might be our last one of the half. Karma and Dottie facing up front, and in the back we have Sailor Jerry and Criminally Insane. A nice little mano-a-mano block in the back with number 4 gives Sailor Jerry a clean opportunity to get up front. Karma holding that pivot, and Quadzilla being a great brace. Panties are held in the back as Silver has a great opportunity to get another 5-point pass here. Sailor Jerry coming in with some speed, enters the back of the pack. Let's see how he approaches. All panties are being held. Does he go for the inside or the out? First cut on the outside with Baird with a great booty block, and Dottie cleaning up on the inside. No luck for Sailor Jerry as he gets his second attempt. And up the front, you see Karma have a wonderful hip block, being able to hold the panty back, giving Sailor Jerry just enough time to potentially get another 5 points. Off. Looks as if 45 with the penalty for a forearm, giving another scoring pass to Sailor Jerry. Seems as if there might be another penalty issued as we get some time to get some communication going on the track. It's very difficult to both hear and pay attention to the person you're blocking and keep an eye on the refs. So as we give way to another penalty, Sailor Jerry gets another full pass. Goes for one more, and will he call or will he go? With 10 seconds left on the clock, probably going to make this jam worth every single point. As we enter half, there's a slow front wall, and it is a call. And that will bring us to the half.
Nice. Remember, folks, there's breakfast items at the snack bar. Plenty of Monster Mash merch for you to pick up as well at the merch table. All right. All right, starting us off is T again for the Satellites against number 21. That is Amageddon.
Val Raven holding some good positional blocking, and Orange Whip with a good block on the outside, giving T some difficulties dealing with this 2x2 wall in the back.
T's just a squirrely character.
Yeah, Val Raven with a good hit into the inside, knocking T back. Oh, and both breaking through and laying a great hit on Black Jammer. T breaking through, but Black Panties are once again being oppressed by this silver wall. Tries to challenge the outside Carmen Electra. And sure enough, able to hold her definitively. Solo backwards blocking. And look at that backwards prowess. Able to get a good cut as 21 might be able to break out front. Sorry, let me put that down.
And the Black Jammer is heading to the box of shame. May have been an illegal block there.
It is a track cut yield and not a penalty, so Black only needs to re-enter from the back of the pack. Curious if they're going to get an improper procedure for that, but it looks like it's just a yield. All right, jam ends and we don't have to deal with it. Hmm.
23. Celtic Chaos and Sailor Jerry lining up for the next jam. But some really fun blockers in the middle here. Always love seeing Tiff and Pippi hanging out together, anchored by Quadzilla on the outside lane.
Truly a mortifying lineup if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, they're going to need extra undies after this one.
Hernandez holding the Black pivot position and fighting pretty hard against Tiff, who, as we know, knows her way around the pivot position.
And Thrash Singing Slasher at number 23 in the back, trying to get some offense going here for their score.
See if they can both get that offense going and then switch defense. As Sailor Jerry enters the back, Hernandez yelling on the inside, doesn't know if she sees that jammer coming up. Sailor Jerry on the outside, no hit, allows him to get through, and that'll be 5 points as he laps the scoring point, who has broken number 23, Celtic Chaos.
Sailor Jerry proceeding through the middle, pancaked by Phoenix Fire and number 12.
I really like that patience by Quadzilla as he watches the 3-wall, and instead of deciding whether or not he wants to break it up, lets his jammer do it on their own, giving them the power to do so. It's encouraging. Sailor Jerry cuts through the inside, goes to the outside, challenges that outside wall, and a collision sends everybody tumbling. As the jam ends.
Some commiseration here by the jammers. Pre-jam, that's Dottie Disaster and Rolomite. Rolomite proving very difficult to hit in this game.
Dottie's got it.
Yeah, Dottie's a unit. Dottie's hit me many times, made me forget my own name.
There we go. As we say, a hit to the outside.
Legal hit. Oh, not a legal hit.
What's the penalty for? I'm curious. I will inquire later.
And the penalty box filling up for Black here. Definitely not the team you want to go against with a depleted blocking core.
Ooh.
Gortisha looking like a human missile here against Rolomite. Quickly back to her feet. And the pack slowing down in turn 3.
Criminally Insane fighting hard and fighting definitively as Wrecking Ball gets one hit to the outside, braced by Karma.
Yeah, Kremley looking fearless out there against some of these menacing blockers. Rolomite showing some perfect form here, rounding the 4th turn to come back into this pack.
Dottie comes back and joins that wall in solidarity, holding Rolomite as he's trying to decide as he bobs and weaves, how am I going to attack this?
It's looking like a shark circling in the water.
Ready to poach, ready to pounce. Oh, see, just wait for a hole. One will appear. As you roll on through and call it for a nice, fun, easy jam.
Some nice offensive blocking there by number 4, Gravy for the Satellites. Came in like an assassin there, open things up. The ever feisty T making their way back out to the track.
A false start by the looks of it, leaving Lowrider up front alone as White Jammer T has a fun attempt at some challenges 3-wall that is held down by a 2-wall. Lowrider holding up, throws the whip, gets the T out there easily. Great teamwork and good patience.
Just tremendous teamwork on the part of the Satellites here. Looking every inch like the national champions we saw in July.
Who'd have thought good teams are good? T cutting it up as if she had a pair of scissors.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, T just looking mathematical with the jammer technique. Very precise. Whereas, you got Rolomite, who's the master of chaos.
It's always nice to have that balance. Ooh.
Yep, may have 65. Lowrider may have picked up an elbow on that one. He tried to avoid it.
Out of play ball.
Oh.
Might have been a little close out of play. Might have been a little close to a stop block. Might have come to a stop on the play. But all in all,
Yep.
close hit, good hit. Good communication by the ref crew as we call the end of the jam.
Having deja vu here with the coaches opting to run the clock here in the second half, trying to get this game done and over with.
Really gives everybody a chance to rest up and stay healthy. You really do love when a team has a 100-point lead and they say, hey, all the respect to the opponent, let's make sure everyone leaves healthy and alive.
Yep, and a lot of games left this weekend, so. Back at it here. It's going to be Quadzilla wearing the star for the Satellites against number 8, Amanda Beard for the Werewolf pack. Quadzilla take that outside lane. Scooting to the inside in front of the pivot to slow him up. Make it much easier or much harder to break out here.
Always do love when that pivot takes a look at that ref and makes sure that they're clear to break. That's good discipline and good watching, right, Hernandez?
Number 62, Hernandez, trying to make it back to this pack, trying to pick up some points here for the Werewolf pack.
Low rider opening holes like he's digging dirt in the desert.
Just makes you feel good to see it.
Makes me miss Shia LaBeouf.
I love his blocking style, like deliberately holding his arms in to try and avoid any unnecessary penalties. It's just an interesting visual because I have these clubs attached to my the top of my frame here, and I love to use them. Dang, Karma Electrac taking out Orange Whip here in turn 2. That was a beautiful block. Karma Electrac, one of our national champion satellites this year. No slouch.
Nice little jump cut before the calling of the jam.
Yeah, Quadzilla really floating like a butterfly there.
Pardon?
The Satellites suiting up Pippi here as a scorer for the first time today.
If anybody sees Parks and Rec, get them to the front desk. Parks and Rec, front desk.
Pippi working here against Ace of Grace. Pippi taking lead position. Again, working to slow up the pivot before breaking out. Trying to keep Gorticia from accelerating too quickly. Unsuccessfully in this case. Tish coming in like a wrecking ball. 9 minutes remaining in the half. Satellites leading 156-22. Just looking like master chess players out there.
I recently started picking up chess, and you never know how much you don't know.
Yeah, it's a very humbling game, that's for sure.
Speaking of humbling, watching the Satellites play really makes me realize just how high that ceiling is in roller derby. It's criminally insane, gets a good opportunity, and this is, I think, the first time I'm watching them get a good race as they try and catch Karma in the back. Karma approaches that back while Tiff holding 1-2 babies. Hernandez, but criminally insane on the inside for a clean pass, 4 points. There you go, as they celebrate a great jam. You love to see the people going.
That was awesome. An Amazonian effort there.
There's nothing better than after a pretty significant one side, really getting a definitive point scoring opportunity, especially stealing that lead back. It always feels so good. Take what's rightfully yours. Good job, Criminally Insane.
Gonna see a little anger out of Donnie Disaster here, I'm sure.
But when you do it well, it's all that matters is that you're out there.
T again breaking out to the front. Dottie trying to power her way through low Rida. Held on the inside. Looks like Ace of Grace breaking out as scorer for the Werewolf pack here. Oh, excuse me, that's Amageddon. Meanwhile, T coming up through turn 2, coming on this pack. Woo! Takes a nice hit from the Werewolf pack.
And as great as that hit was, that recovery was completely parallel to the ground on one skate. That was amazing.
Yep, some figure skating there. There's another skater here that's really good at that, Mr. Crypto. We'll see him do some twirly whirlies, but not fall.
I'm not excited as I have to play against him right next game. Also, quick shout out to Black Mamba. She's just great.
I don't know. I fear for my safety when Mama gets too close to the announcer table. Sid Vicious.
Karma and Ace with a quick initial contact as Sid Vicious fights her way through the back.
Yep.
Has to deal with Tiff, though, as Tiff lays a hit onto the outside. And we have Quadzilla with a clean break as Karma holds back that pivot. With a great backwards block to the outside. A little bit of a forearm. Does it get called? Out of play block. Interesting.
Hi.
Roll Quadzilla with the pass as he goes for another one.
Contending with gravity there, but took some awkward hits, but stays on his feet.
Fancy feet makes it look easy, but that's what experience do.
Quadzilla looking to try to juke through this wall. Takes a hit from Tish. Tish has got some very good targeting today, I gotta say.
He knew what he did.
Yeah. Meanwhile, unlike Sailor Jerry, everything I do is legal.
Pushing that they are in front. However, Valraven did step out when hitting them as they're stomping around to really sell that cut. Ace of Grace calls the jam, gets those points.
Yeah, I love those tippy tap resets.
Oh, it's my favorite.
5 minutes remaining in this contest. The Satellites definitely going to advance here. But got to give a ton of respect to the Werewolf pack, still laying it on thick, even with the score being what it is. That's one of the things we love about this sport. You get to beat up on your opponent as long as the clock's still running.
I'd like to say that regardless, it's still a good metric of performance. You can measure your offense exclusively based off of their defense. So getting 40 points against a great team is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Rolomai waiting patiently as he pushes Kremlin Insane out the front of the pack, stopping her from being able to break. Sailor Jerry gets out of the box and is making sure that he has some time to get to some laps. Kremlin Insane does get out as Tiff cuts on the outside, completely unwitnessed. Sneaks on through. Now the big question is whether or not Tiff wants to grab Kremlin Insane before calling it off, or if she's going to let her. Nope. Going to blow some time off the clock and call it.
Yeah, went for the old Cobra Kai. Let them get to the pack and then call it off. Use up all that energy.
There's actually a Japanese phrase for letting your enemy use all of their energy against themselves. Don't remember it, but if you ever go to Japan, ask someone.
I have a ton of respect for Kremlin, though. So much effort. No, there's no quit in Kremlin Insane.
Well, I mean, she's learning from the best.
Yep.
The first thing when I unretired was Steve Bompop, who says, "Oh, you need to watch my daughter. That girl has no quit in her."
Yep. T out here against Baird. T again going like a warm knife through butter. The Satellites blockers doing a terrific job up front. T looking to call their shot here. Completely open pack for their taking. Baird with one person to beat, but that person is Karma Electrac, who is a pain in the derriere. And Baird is free and working their way. The Satellites running the clock, trying to get this game over with. 2 minutes remaining. 45 seconds remaining in the jam. T staring down the barrel of a thrash slinging slasher.
As Amageddon does get a good block, but it is not enough to hold the Swiss knife that is T. Great job cutting through that pack and another scoring pass.
Those darn skinny jammers. I definitely prefer a substantial target.
As far as methods go, there's the small and agile or the power jammers.
10 seconds remaining in the jam. It's not enough, and the jam is ended. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
I stopped talking. As we're creeping up on 1:30, this may once again be the last jam. I'm actually going to step out. That'll be me signing off, as I have to play in a game in 15 minutes. So thank you very much. And I'll leave you all with the very wonderful Flash.
I really like you, Semantics. And I love watching you beat people up on roller skates. All right, folks, this may be the last jam of the game. Quadzilla wearing the star. Oop, called a penalty there on Ace of Grace, who's heading to the box of shame. It's a foot race. Criminally Insane looking to overtake the big guy. And I'm waiting here with anticipation to see how this is going to turn out. Rookie of the Year, Criminally Insane against the wily veteran. Criminally Insane. It out to finish out this game. Gonna dish out just a little bit more violence to send off the satellites with a little love letter. Celtic Chaos and Sailor Jerry wearing the stars to cap this one off. A couple of prolific jammers here. Rollemite working the black jammer in the back. Slowing things up while Sailor Jerry trying to methodically work his way through. Sailor Jerry forced to reset after being knocked to the floor by this Werewolf pack.
I'm thinking maybe.
And it's Chaos in turn
Stop
4.
the screen. Maybe during lunch we could do it. Try it out.
Lots of bodies flying. Lots of movement. Tisha and Sid Vicious each getting some hits on Sailor Jerry, trying to force the reset.
I should be able to
Sailor Jerry taking that outside lane, picking up lead here.
I would need it is if it was on
The period clock has expired, so the jam clock takes over to end this game. 45 seconds remaining.
It's a better secured thing because the two computers or two networks.
Meanwhile, the Werewolf pack score is still bottled up in the middle of the pack. A lot of offensive blocking taking place here. And that's it. It's a big win for the Satellites over the Werewolf pack. The Satellites advance, folks.